Sci-Fi has announced plans to produce 3001, The Final Odyssey miniseries from producer Ridley Scott on their channel in a drastic turn of events. Well, not exactly.
Wait, Sci-Fi channels doing something sci-fi?
SCIFI.
Oh, not SyFy. All right, I'm sorry. I know that's an old joke, but I was writing for their website when the switchover happened. So, yes, SyFy.
SyFy. Yep.
Yeah, this is interesting because Sci-Fi has recently come out and said that they are not going to do as much of the, I don't know, wrestling. They might actually do more sci-fi, and they talk about Battlestar Galactica as one of the shows they hold up.
Basically, we messed up and we shouldn't have canceled that
was
show.
It was a big old apology.
Or Caprica. Shouldn't have canceled Caprica either, just saying.
Never mind. I won't even get into it. Like, I was, Stargate
Universe?
Yes!
Yes! Oh no, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Yeah, they've gone into these they're weird areas. There's been some strange stuff on there. Although I loved Eureka because it was my favorite. But I think this is a really good move. We'd actually talked about this. I moderated the Battlestar Galactica panel at Kamikaze this past weekend, and we talked about it, and we talked about why Battlestar was the thing that they hold up as a standard.
Right.
And it was because it was sci-fi. It was believable. It was our future. It was a possible future.
A more serious series. I mean, we've had a lot of like silly, lighthearted delusions. That's not necessarily bad, but it's not really, hard sci-fi.
Well, if you're gonna be a specialty network and a cable network, it's like stick to your guns, dude. Like, I mean, I know at some point they made some decision that they were seeing the successes of all the other specialty channels out there, and at some point they actually were like, well, you know what? We should probably hop on this, train with all the other cable networks out there. And I think they're realizing that maybe the public opinion factor is something to consider in what your programming is.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been watching Sci-Fi since it first came on the air because, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, you could not design a network more for me unless there were more dragons on it.
Yeah.
But
fantasy.
Yeah, but I mean,
Dragon Network.
Oh, yes. But I mean, this could not be a better announcement. I loved it. All right, now I haven't read 3001, The Final Odyssey, but I do know what happens, and I've obviously seen the 2 movies. This is the 4th book in the series from Arthur C. Clarke.
They skipped the 3rd book.
They skipped, yeah. But I love this. I love that they're going back to this. I love that this is going to be a specialty network again for giant nerds like me.
The question is like, in their ability to do this at the moment, is this going to be enough? Or are we going to have to kind of see some more from them? Because obviously we have a transition at this point.
There are going to be some new series coming out, including Childhood's End, a mini-series also from Arthur C. Clarke's, another Arthur C. Clarke book starring Charles Dance, aka Tywin Lannister.
Watch him do anything.
The Expanse, which is based on a series of books by James S.A. Corey, and Hunters, which is based on Whitley Strieber's novel Alien Hunter, a Philadelphia cop searches for his missing wife. I read this weird. Leads and discovers a secret government unit that assembled to hunt a group of ruthless terrorists that may not be from this world. 2016.
Yeah. And there's complete support from Stanley Kubrick's estate and from Arthur C. Clarke's estate.
That's great.
We don't know if they'll be involved or if they are, what the level.
But they've signed off.
They've signed off,
That's
which is
cool.
really, really cool.
And am I reading this right here too, that they're talking about doing other like episodic series based on some of these great sci-fi films too, like 12 Monkeys and things like that?
They're doing 12 Monkeys. The trailer was just released for that.
That's wonderful.
Which actually looked really cool. And I have to admit, when I first heard that, I was like, you're really?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Maybe rethink. But the trailer looks fantastic, so I'm willing to watch.
Then we might be seeing the rebirth of sci-fi in its more.
I think this is a great move.
Yeah.
Because over the years we've watched a lot of cable networks that had started at a specialty, such as
the Learning Channel,
History Channel,
the Discovery Channel.
Yeah.
They've become a lot more homogenized with certain, well, let's have a reality show about repo men or pawn shops, and it's like they all have something kind of similar that doesn't necessarily fit with their original build. So there
the
has
history
been
of aliens.
Aliens. It's sort of become this homogenized like lump of reality TV for the most part, as opposed to I want to go to this channel and learn about science, or I want to go learn about science fiction.
And it's funny because you think about that a couple decades ago, and reality shows are inexpensive, and they made a lot of money. But I think we're finally past that lurch, and they're starting to realize that with production value comes pedigree with good ideas, And we're starting to see shows that are bringing that together, like True Blood, like you know, American Horror Story, like you know, anything HBO puts out, or the Netflix originals. Like there's money in there, and so in good stories, and by the way, that translates into views.
Yeah, although I do have to say their one reality show, Face Off, is kind of awesome. It really is. It's cool because it's not about like backbitey stuff. It's about really, really talented people doing really cool things and getting hired by really, really good people.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of Z Nation though, but that is way off topic. So it looks like, do you think this has something to do with the resurgence of the genre of science fiction becoming increasingly not only popular, but profitable?
Yeah, sci-fi's huge right now.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
giant.
I mean, if you look at something like Big Hero 6, which is the whole movie is about making science look cool and an awesome, adorable, cuddly robot. But other than that, I mean, it really does. Like, I think it's like, it's the cool thing now. Obviously, geek chic has been around for quite some time, but science, there's been this push towards science, and science fiction is just an extension of that.
I agree. I mean, even 5 or 6 years ago in my field, doing a lot of the survival horror and a lot of like the zombie related stuff, like Walking Dead, while still having its fan base, doesn't have that impact as it did. And you're seeing, especially recently, a lot of like sci-fi survival horror stuff, like the like Gravity, like did a lot. Even though it wasn't true survival horror, it was still like, you know.
It freaked me out.
Space is scary, guys, and that's something that's just making an impact on people nowadays. And I think it's going to keep going.
Well, it all sounds good to me. What do you think, audience? Is this? Well, I'm obviously going to expect the audience to be like, well, this is good, but it's been a long time coming, has it not? Let us know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and please be sure to subscribe for more.